This quick screencast is for groups C and D. To save some time and to reduce the redundancy in the recording, I'm just going to record one screencast for both of your groups. Most of the content or the work will be very similar, just specific to each care level. So we're going to use Group D's as the example. You guys are welcome to follow along in Group C on your particular page, and then also you guys obviously in Group D. The information and the location of it is very similar, if almost not identical. We're going to start off over here on the group member task side. This is where you as group members are going to see which tasks are assigned to you. So modules 1 through 9 are already listed here, and your group leads will work with you to assign these different modules, and I'll show you what these modules are outlined to be. Under assignment, you already see Mary Ellen's name here. This would be an example of her assigned to Module 1, and she will list. When you find which module you're assigned to, you're going to come down here to Shared Documents, and you can see that Module 1 through 9 are here in Word form. These are templates. This is how you're actually going to start working on these this content, and these are the actual pages of the training manual that you'll be writing. I'm going to show you an example. This is just a quick example. It's not a complete module and can be completely disregarded, or you can use it as a good starting point. So let's start here with Module 1 example. This will load in a PDF form, and this is available for you guys to look at later on. This is the page of what the training manual will look very similar to at the very end. So we're recredentialing Academy Paramedic, and for you guys in Group C, yours will say EMT. But the modules between Paramedic and EMT will be the same. It's the content down here that'll be slightly different relative to the care level. So Module 1 deals with airway and pulmonology. And after I'm done going through this example, I'll show you the breakdown of all 9 modules in terms of topic. Prerequisites, typically for Module 1 in all of the different curriculums, is left undefined. Once we start getting into Module 2 and then all the other modules, will be a blanket statement that they must successfully pass Module 1 to move to Module 2. Under the sections, each of the modules will have these subsections. The material underneath these subsections will be blank. This is what your guys are actually going to define. And remember, and this is even challenging for me going through this example, is the training manual deals with the objectives of what we're going to learn, or what the what. So we're using very broad descriptions of what those objectives, those learning objectives are. So when we talk about upper and lower airway anatomy, it's pretty much descriptive of what that could be. In the next step of this project, we'll actually define content delivery, which will be more specific on these items. So gas diffusion, acid-base balance, ventilation theory, and hopefully this makes sense. Under patient assessment and technical assessment, these are the things that people should be able to do as it relates to airway and pulmonology. Like I said, very broad statements of that. Under treatment guidelines, this is right out of our common treatment guidelines. It's just citing the relative guidelines that should be reviewed as it relates to airway and pulmonology. Documentation is about our patient care documentation. It's important that people know how to document what they're assessing, what they are seeing in the patient. So for this example, I put that they should be able to document an adequate airway assessment. And remember, we'll deal with what that means and how to go about that in the content delivery section. It's just important in this manual to define the what. Same thing for lung assessment, respiratory effort, pertinent negatives and positives. Psychomotor skill is very unique for groups C and D. This is going to drive what we do later on in service, where we're actually working towards requiring a certain number of psychomotor skills for skills that are important, complicated, or we don't use very often to help prevent skill decay, which is we talked about in other screencasts that deal with skill sets that aren't used very often. You actually become less capable of doing them proficiently over time. So these are arbitrary numbers I just came up with. Feel free to reference material, come up with something that's more reasonable. And when we talk about these psychomotor skills and the requirements based on time, we consider either real patient or simulated. So certainly we don't expect anybody to get 10 intubations in a quarter over 3 months. And certainly we're not encouraging that to get signed off. However, we do understand that most of these, so say 9 out of 10, will be done in a simulated fashion, and that's what in-service, the role of in-service, will start to take on as this design. So you guys get the creativity to come up with this list. These are the big items that I had just come up with as I was thinking about this. Cognitive exam. This is the blanket statement on all the different modules about, we are expecting an 80%. And understand that if somebody's passing a module with a 70%, they're really learning 70% of the material or retaining 70% of the material. And this standard, I think, eventually we can make higher, but I think this is a good starting point. So that's what the example looks like. There's, like I said, one for each module, and let me go back and I'll show you what the different module breakdowns are. This is available for you also on both groups C and D. So we're going to click Recredentialing Modules. These are the 9 monthly modules, and I came up with these as it relates to the bigger picture of what the training schedule will be for a year and how that corresponds to a quarterly in-service. And that will become a little bit more clear as we demonstrate how these fall into place. Try to stay within these module definitions. If there's something that's missing or just a better way of doing it, we're obviously open for that suggestion. That's what this is all about. And the order in which these modules happen can be changed. If the workload within the first quarter of the year is too much, we can move these as needed. But the important part of this project as it stands now is to get the content and to define the what within these different modules. So how are we going to go about doing that? So I've looked over here on the right and I see Mary Ellen and I've been assigned Module 1. I'm going to come down here to Share Documents. So the M1 refers to Module 1, and I'm going to click on it. Up here it's going to say Edit. If I'm working on the document myself and it's important for me and I'm actually doing the editing, I'm going to click Edit. If I'm somebody if I just want to peek in on what other people are doing and get some ideas, I would click on Read Only, and that makes sure I don't accidentally change someone else's work. So click OK. It's going to launch Word, and Word is launching on the actual server, so it'll allow us to work on the server and save documents that'll go directly on our website, so we don't have to worry about saving the file somewhere we can remember with the file name and then uploading it and go through those extra steps that just take away from being efficient at doing the job. So here's the Word document of the actual file that makes up the training manual for Module 1, Paramedic Recredentialing. Each of the fields, as we talked about, are undefined, and this is where you guys are going to define that. And how we are going to go about doing that is each of these defined grayed out fields is an actual field in terms of Word. So you're just going to click on it, the whole thing is going to highlight, and then you start typing. And this is where you define the objectives, the what. Remember, try to ask yourself the question when defining this stuff, is this talking about the how or the what? We're focusing on the what right now and not the how. And define that for each of these. We'd like to see this stay to 1 page, so if you need to use a little bit more general terms, that's okay. If it needs to go to another page, if you're just stuck and there's just that much content, that's perfectly okay. Get with your group leads and tell them that you need to go to a second page, and I'll get into the template and actually add that second page so it keeps the formatting in line. Don't worry about if the format gets screwed up. I'll make sure it's fixed during the technical writing component. If it really gets botched and things get deleted, remember you can always use the undo feature, or if you really get stuck, just let me know through your group leads and I will get in and fix it. Once you've made the changes that you wanted to, say you want to work on this a couple hours each shift, or you get a call and you want to save your work, it's out of the view of the screen, but go to the top right corner, click Save As, and this is actually going to bring you right into our website, so you see all the different saved documents. What my suggestion would be is after the file name, put an underscore in your name. And what that'll allow you to do is it keeps the template intact and also allows you to go back to your work. Click Save. Once it's saved, you can close Word, so go at the click the Office button, click Exit Word, and then we arrive back at the home, your group's home page, and right here you see the document we just saved. It's as simple as that. We're at the 10-minute mark, and I want to keep these video casts short, so if there's anything that's unclear, get with your group leads and make sure that you're online at this point, because we're going to start October 1st and run for the 2 weeks. Thank you guys for your time.